Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be having a look at the first of 3 February meetings here at Fanny Bay. This coming Saturday's fixture is the 2nd of February. After last week's bumper 6-race card on Australia Day, the numbers are a little on the lighter side this week, but we still have a 5-race card with some 37 acceptors, and believe me, finding a winner or 3 is not easy. It was great to have the new tie-up stalls in operation last week on Australia Day, and the feedback from all was excellent, as you would imagine. Miazza won the first race from the new tie-ups and gave trainer Gary Clark the first leg of a double on the day. Clark is well represented again on Saturday, and he will no doubt make his presence felt, being the leading trainer as he has been for some years. In the first, the Tox-Free Trobus handicap, my numbers are 2, 1, 3 and 6. I'm going here with number 2, Rocheville in the Class 2 1300 metres. Carl Spry trains and rides this one. Carl's only got the 2 rides on Saturday, but Rocheville fresh up. Hasn't raced since Melbourne Cup Day when he was a winner. That was over 1600 metres in this grade, Class 2 grade. He's coming back to the 1300, but in a fresh state, I thought that he'd take plenty of beating. So I've got him on top here, number 2, Rocheville. Ahead of number 1, Restless. Sonia Wiseman for Phil Cole, racing consistently without winning. Another one of the tried horses from the sale, as is Rocheville incidentally, and I thought Restless was a good chance to fill a place. In for third, number 3, Joker Poker, still a maiden but racing really well for Chris Pollard. Philip Kreitch goes on this week. Michelle Hagley was here last week and she took them out when the horse finished second to Miazza, but must be considered again. And in for fourth, number 6 it is, Rock Miati. So 2, 1, 3 and 6 in the first. The second's the Ladbrokes handicap, and it's the 0 to 70 over 1300 metres. And my numbers here, 3, 4, 5 and 1. Going here with number 3, the last start winner, Marble Duke from the Gary Clark stable. Kim Gladwin aboard. Kim and Gary having a pretty good run just recently in the absence of Brendan Davis, but pleased to say Brendan won't be far away from returning to the saddle. He got a clearance earlier this week, so he should be back in action, hopefully at the next meeting here on the 13th. But Marble Duke won well here on the 12th of January. That was in 0 to 64 grade. Steps up in grade a little bit, but he was impressive that day, won by 2 1/4 lengths, and I think he's the horse to beat over this 1300 metres. 3 on top, ahead of number 4, Delta Dior. Great to see this horse back on track and in winning form here on Australia Day for trainer Pat Johnson. Matty Hart, great to see him with a double as well last week, and he retains the mount on Delta Dior. Backing up quickly, probably the only question mark, but I know Pat's pretty bullish about his chances, and the step up to 1300 won't worry him. I've got him in to run second. In for third, number 5, the class mare, the Wild Side. She was really good, winning last time out, fresh up on the 12th of January. That was at 1100 metres, surprised a lot of people in the 0 to 70. The step up to 1300 metres will suit her. She probably wants even further, but she's a good mare. She's racing well. Jared Todd for Phil Cole, and in for fourth, number 1, the consistent galloper Backslap. 3, 4, 5 and 1 in the second. Our third on Saturday is the Magic Millions handicap. It's the benchmark 54. It's over the 1200 metres. Numbers here 1, 6, 2 and 3. He looks the bet of the day to me, number 1, My Snip, Phil Cole and Jared Todd. Very good combination, as we know. And this horse has been racing super. He finished second last time out to Marble Duke. That was in 64 grade. This is a benchmark 54. He really looks to have the measure of his rivals here, and I've got him clearly on top. Number 1 for me, ahead of number 6, Quicker Than Slick. Sonia Wiseman and Phil Cole, so could be a Quinella for the Cole stable. This horse has only had the one start in Darwin. That was on the 12th of January behind Canlar. Didn't mind the run. I thought there was signs of early improvement, so I've got it in to run second. In for third, number 2, Amigo Mio, Matt Hart for Shane Clark. My fourth selection, number 3, Danoxy, formerly trained in the Alice, now with Gary Lafoe Jr. rather, not Gary Clark. Kim Gladwin aboard. Numbers there 1, 6, 2 and 3. The fourth's the Garden Park Golf Links handicap. It's the 0 to 64 and it's over 1100 metres. Numbers here 3, 1, 4 and 5. Going here with number 3, Iron Lotus. Gary Clark's got 2 engaged here, the other one being Desuri. Iron Lotus, former very good 2-year-old and 3-year-old in Alice Springs when trained by Lisa Whittle, now trained by Gary Clark. Kim Gladwin aboard. Good run last time behind Dark Whirlwind, and of course we saw Dark Whirlwind come out and finish a very, very good second in the big race here on Australia Day behind the mighty old veteran neat feet. I think Iron Lotus getting close to a win, and I think Saturday's the day. 3 on top for me. Ahead of number 1, Sprinting to Win. This is an interesting runner, trained by Sean Rains, formerly trained by the Snowdens at Randwick. It's only had the 15 starts for 3 wins and 3 placings. Having its first start in Darwin, hasn't raced since the 1st of August. That last start was at Warwick Farm. So he's an interesting runner. I've got him in to run second. Third selection, number 4, Lindwall. Carl Spry trains. Matty Hart takes the mount here. 57.5 kilograms, just on the light side for Carl at the present time. He was the last start winner on the 29th of December. It was a deserved win. That was 1,300. The 1,100 probably on the short side. And I think Carl's got a longer trip in store for Lindwall, but this is a preparatory run for that. But he'll still race well. And in for 4th, number 5, and that's Desuri. 3, 1, 4 and 5 in the 4th. And our last on what should be a pretty good card of racing here on Saturday is the Mantra Handicap. It's a 0 to 58 over 1,100 metres, a 9-horse field to face the starter. Numbers here 1, 2, 7 and 4. Number 1 on top for me, Mason County, Vanessa Arnott and Jason Manning, the combo. Capable galloper on his day. Hasn't raced since the 15th of September, so fresh up, but has performed in that state before. His last start was second to Let's Celebrate, and in his best form, he'd be very hard to beat here. Number 1 on top for me, Mason County. Ahead of 2, Tiger Trap. This horse broke maiden ranks last week in good style. Sonia Wiseman for Dick Leach. Vanessa Arnott rode the horse last week. Sonia goes on this week, backing up probably the only question mark, but did win nicely last week. In for 3rd, number 7, Flinders Beach, getting close to a win. Barry Huppets and Cherie Lawler, the combo. Good 3rd to Miazza just a week ago. And in for 4th, number 4, Hatton Man from the very much in form stable of Tayan Holter. My best bet in Darwin this Saturday comes up in race 3, number 1, My Snip. Race 3, number 1, My Snip, certainly looks his race, and I think he'll be winning. While my best roughie comes up in the last, and it's a newcomer to Darwin, number 3, Fort Necessity. Race 5, number 3, Fort Necessity from the Chris Pollard stable. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk, but we'll be back again in advance of our next meeting, which is a Wednesday fixture here in Darwin, and that's on the 13th of February. Until then, good luck and good punting.